So, in the past couple of days, I've had one of my friends, a lady who I know, tell me that she's been accosted like twice by guys exposing themselves and basically masturbating in front of her. And, one of the things I've learned over time, apparently this kind of thing happens to women a lot. Now, I used to think that kind of behavior is kind of weird, and thought of the people who did it as being, I don't know, silly or pathetic. But when you look at that, when you understand that through the eyes of a woman, it's not silly or pathetic. I mean, it's very scary. It's very alarming, and so, and one of the things, I mean, it is a form. It's not just a harmless activity or a distasteful activity. I mean, it is a form of sexual assault, and like almost all sexual assault, not really intended to be, like sexual gratification, really, but it's like a power. So it's a power to intimidate people. It's a power to hurt people. I've read some research that says that the people who do this type of thing, who expose themselves to to women, that's often like a stepping stone to them moving on to an actual physical assault. It's almost like a kind of proof of concept. If I can get away with this, maybe I can get away with something more. And so, when my friend told me about this, I felt really bad for her. And I was like, as a guy, you feel tempted to say, oh man, if I was there, man, I'd have kicked his ass and stuff like that. And that kind of talk, that kind of chest thump and stuff like that, that makes me feel good, but it doesn't really do anything to help my friend or other women who may find themselves in that kind of situation. And so I was thinking, what can I do? Because that I've never engaged in that kind of behavior. I don't believe that any of the men I know would do something like that. But what can we as men do in a situation like that? So I got to think of what could we do? And one of the things I kind of came up with, a couple of things I thought of, strategies, is, that we as men can be just more mindful of when you see a woman, like right now I'm at a shopping center. When you see a woman, kind of crossing a space like this, by herself, and particularly, as it gets darker and stuff like that, maybe I need to pay a little bit more attention and just want to make sure she's getting to where she's going. So, so maybe just an easy thing is just keeping an eye on women crossing a space like this, and to see, does anybody like accost her? When I say keep an eye, I'm talking about just doing it in a very low-key way, not in any way to be kind of intrusive, but just kind of keeping an eye out. Because if a woman gets accosted, I mean, you'll probably see her, kind of stop or look at the direction it's coming from and back up, or maybe actually, retreat from that area. So what can we do? So one thing I'm not going to suggest is, I wouldn't suggest getting directly involved, because heck, I'm in Florida. So anybody might have a firearm and be willing to use it if somebody gets directly involved. But maybe it's just a matter of going like, hey, miss, do you need any help? Are you okay over there? Or maybe it's better to say, or maybe it's just simply a hey, or maybe it's just a toot of the horn. But to do something to show some support and let that woman know that she's not alone. And why do you do this? Because like it happened to my friend this week. It could be my wife, my daughter, my mom, my sister, or other women I know tomorrow and next week. What would we want somebody to do for them? So that's just a suggestion and just a thought and a little bit of a different subject. So anyway, think about that. Take care. Be safe.